everybody, and welcome. How are you? How was your Mother's Day? I hope whatever you decided to do on Mother's Day that you spent some real wonderful quality time with loved ones and friends and just created some good memories. But that was Mother's Day, and today is today. Uh, as you guys know, I work at night now, so I have to try to get my reacts done during the day or late at night after work. I was actually going to do a react last night to another live stream of foodies, but I just kind of ran out of time. And that kind of worked out anyway because I was a bit tired and I wanted to wait till I had all of my energy. So here we are. So Foodie did another live called Let's Talk and complaining about the same old stuff. I wanted to go over it along with some stuff on Twitter and hope you guys really enjoy it. And if you do, please like and subscribe. Before we get deep into this, though, some thoughts about Missy Moo. So, anybody who's familiar with Missy Moo, you know that she's a former associate of Foodie Beauty. She was a hardcore beezer, VIB, and she created a channel. And the whole premise of her channel was she was associated with Foodie, very closely associated, and she kept implying that she had plenty of receipts on Foodie, plenty of DMs that could be problematic for Foodie. So, of course, a lot of people subbed up to her channel to get the tea. Missy kept teasing the tea, saying that she had it, teasing that she was going to release it, although that never really happened. A lot of the things that she said to the audience were stuff that we already knew or that we could already guess. Well, Missy did it again. She kept saying she was going to release the receipts. But right before she was going to do it, after a lot of people were saying, hey, it's time to poop or get off the pot, release the receipts, you've been talking about it, so be about it. Suddenly, Missy comes forward and says that she's not going to release them because she was afraid of something bad happening to her family. Now, the first thought that came to my mind was if you were afraid of something bad happening to your family, some kind of backlash happening to your family, where was this concern when you were getting in deep with Foodie and you were white knighting for Foodie and you were doing the doxing for Foodie? You're doing all these troublesome things in the name of Foodie Beauty. Where was the concern for your safety and their safety then? Suddenly, all of a sudden, it's now a concern, Missy. Isn't that strange? Right when people are fed up with the teasing and the promises that never get fulfilled, suddenly now it's a concern. But it's okay. It's okay if you don't want to release the receipts. Perfectly fine. If you are concerned for your family's safety, that's understandable. But because of not releasing the receipts, I say to my audience, you guys can watch whoever it is you want to watch, but if Missy Moo has anything that might be something that would make Foodie look bad, she's essentially saying to the audience, whatever I might have that might be worth anything, I cannot and I will not release it due to concerns for my family and myself. So, what is she left with, y'all? She just left with speculation tea. She can't give us any real tea. So, what's left is speculation tea. Is that right, Missy? Is that what you're pretty much trying to say? You acted like you had something about Foodie that none of us knew. And if you do have something, you can't release it to us. So, you're basically left with nothing. So, anybody subbing up to Missy, understand that that's all she's got now is speculation tea. If she's got anything that might be important, anything we might find really, really interesting, we'll never see it. So that's off the table. So that's all I want to say about Missy and her content. She created a channel based on being close to Foodie, based on she might know something or reveal something that we might be interested in, but she pretty much came out and said, I can't do that for, you know, personal concerns. So from here on out with Missy, it's just speculation tea. All right. So I'll tell you what, let's look at stuff on Twitter and then we'll get into the live stream itself. All right. And there's my Twitter. For anyone who wants to follow me on Twitter, there's my Twitter, Wild Girl Sarah. All right, this is from 4F Beauty and Lifestyle. This is one of Chantal's latest mukbangs. 4F Beauty says, no one. Chantal, I want more. Eye roll. Do you get the feeling that Salah is trying to restrict her portion sizes, or is he running out of money? I don't think Salah is trying to restrict her portion sizes, because even if he was trying to, it's not going to work. She wants what she wants. You could give her a meal, and if she's not what she perceives to be as being full, she'll order another one. She'll get on her phone, she'll get on an app, and she'll order another one. Or she'll tell you to turn right back around and go back to a fast food joint and get her a second portion. So I think Salah has figured out by now that restricting her portions is not going to work. She's got a problem with food. It's completely out of control. So him telling her no is not going to be enough. Maybe he just went out and got her something real quick as a snack. But Foodie, I guess in her mind, if she's not like overfull, then it's not enough. I mean, I'm looking at the portion right now in front of her. That should be more than enough, but she literally wants to eat until she's so stuffed that she can barely breathe. Then it's enough. Judge Judy says, Foodie Beauty, you sat there and ate enough food for two people, then complain it isn't enough. You look angry at Salah for not getting you more. If you keep this up, you're going to be bedbound by September. Well, she's got, I believe it is 2 or 3 weeks before her visa is up. My prediction, guys, I think she's going to overstay her visa. Because honestly, what does she have waiting for her back in Canada? She doesn't even have the villa to go home to. And I'm sure that her relatives, they're not going to let her move in with them. You know, where is she going to go? If she came home to Canada, where would she go? I think the plan is to overstay her visa in Kuwait. But the concern about her being bedbound, I think that's a real concern because she is gaining weight rapidly. She's even getting to the point where even while sitting still and eating, she's running out of breath. Foodie, if you're running out of breath while you're eating, this is not a good sign. And I don't know if the master plan is to get bedbound and get stuck in Kuwait and have Salah take care of you, but that is not a good plan if that is indeed the plan. Okay, so this is from Hidden Truths. I guess this is from her latest live. Oh, let me explain this. So people, if you look on the maps, somebody somewhere renamed where she's living as the luxury fart box. Somebody trolled and labeled it the luxury fart box. So I guess she's going to address it here. Let's watch.
Let me start by saying where I see these things, okay? I don't go and look to seek out what people are saying about me. But sometimes things
Okay, let's stop right here for just a second. She just said, I do not seek out things that people say about me. And yet, somebody renaming her location as the fart box, that is something that just recently appeared on Twitter. I didn't know what happened until I saw a post from someone on Twitter about it. So she just said, I don't seek out what people say about me. And yet, clearly, she must be on Twitter. She must be checking out the reaction channels because how else would she know?
that are like going too far are brought to my attention. So, you know, how do I start addressing this? As you can see from my thumbnail, like I find like, okay, so there's some reaction channels who are, we can't control what trolls do. Trolls are going to be crap. They have no life. They're going to try to infringe on my life always. That's just, maybe if I stop addressing it for a long, long, long period of time, that will change.
But the thing is, you can't stop addressing it. That's the. She says, if I would just stop addressing it, things would change. But yet she keeps addressing it. She keeps bringing stuff up. Chantal, this is your channel. You can do whatever you want. You can make whatever content you want. You can talk about whatever topic you like. It's you that decides to make live streams and videos addressing things, talking about things. You keep those topics on the table. You put them on the table in the first place. I'm a content creator too. I can choose on my channel what I talk about, what I address, what I do, what I put in front of the public. So can you. So you sit there and say, well, if I just stop addressing it, but yet you can't stop yourself from addressing it because you need something to talk about, because you don't want to go out and look for things that might actually be interesting and positive.
Hi, Malik. Hi. Because, why do something if you're getting no reaction? It's just like boredom, I guess, like children. Just like children, don't pay attention to them, they'll stop what they're doing. But these are adults, okay? Supposedly with better, happier lives than what I have. So, um, I want to say though that we can't control. There's people who are like, you know, doing really nasty things about our building and all this and that. So, um, like calling it a fart box or whatever. Like
Maybe it's the Motel 6 doing it. Since you brought up the Motel 6 so much, maybe that's their revenge. Calling the place that you live a luxury fart box.
yeah, I know. One time online, I was like farting my life away, but now I'm Muslim and I don't fart. Okay, so
No, 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 no. Just because you are a Muslim doesn't mean you do not pass gas. Ma'am, I'm sure you pass plenty of gas because all you eat is fast food. I'm sure there's plenty of gas passing in that apartment.
anyway, whatever. That's stupid. It's not going to have the reaction that they hope for because people here, and I say this because I've lived in both parts of the world. Okay, I've lived in the West and now I live here. There are laws protecting people from defamatory comments in this part of the world. There are laws protecting people. You don't have the right, Jessica, you don't have the right to defame people here. You don't have the right to insult people here on.
Ma'am, you are no one to speak on what is right and what is wrong. You're in Kuwait and you've already broken so many laws in Kuwait. You get online, even as a newly reverted Muslim woman, you get online and you're hateful, you use foul language, you gossip, you get on camera and you're committing gluttony, which is looked down upon. I mean, you've done so many things, filming government places, filming people. Those are also no-nos. So you're sitting there wagging your finger at other people. Meanwhile, you're over there doing wrong, even now as we speak.
Online and ruin their image. It just doesn't happen. People are more mature. Like in public, I saw, let me.
Yeah, other people are more mature, but unfortunately, you're not. You stopped maturing when you were like 15 years old. You've been, stuck at 15 in your head for the longest.
Let me compare it, for example. I saw a video, like people are not on the street drunk, throwing up and making jerks of themselves.
Okay, so that's the clip. Let's move on to another clip. Let's see. Oh, this is from Kristen. Kristen says this was a 2-hour stream without the deterrent known as Salah that came after battling back and forth all day on the community tab with Missy Moo. She really has fallen off. So this looks like it came from Playboard. That's all she got. $2 in super chats. Oh, how sad. How sad indeed. $2. Yeah, she has fallen off because I remember back in the day when Foodie used to get hundreds of dollars in super chats. When she was really rolling in the money, she would get membership signups like nobody's business. That was that period of time when she was really cocky and arrogant about it. And she kept telling people, I don't care if I lose Beezers, I'll always get new ones. Well, how times have changed. Okay, next. Okay, something nice. Little palette cleanser from B&S saying the largest bird sculpture on earth. The artist spent 10 years creating this bird sculpture. It is 200 feet high. And look how gorgeous is that. What a work of art. Absolute work of art. I don't know who made this, but man, they're talented. Okay, this is something that when I saw it, I was like, why does this even matter? This is from Jolie. And this is Foodie in her community post saying, I always prove myself though. I know I shouldn't bother, but yes, I have a YouTube manager. And you know what, Jolie? I agree with you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if she has a YouTube manager. Why do we care? It doesn't matter if she's got a YouTube manager. Nobody cares. Let's see. This is also from her mukbang. Okay, so this is what she's complaining about today. Somebody actually renamed it the luxury windowed fart box. Who did this? Who was the prankster that did this? Y'all are so wrong and so right for this. Your agitation says, I didn't do it, but I think it's funny because someone labeled her new apartment building as a luxury fart box on Google Maps. This is from Shenanigans. Shenanigans says the third or fourth time she's mentioned the serving size, and I think she's angry at Salah. She keeps rolling her eyes in his direction. Yeah, the old eye rolling thing. Y'all remember back when she lived with Pete? She literally begged Pete over and over and over again for him to quit his job and be on YouTube with her. And then when he wasn't working and she brought him on stream after a while, she was doing the eye rolling thing. She was over Pete. So Foodie is infatuated with Salah, but now he's even getting the eye roll. And I think it's because Foodie, she gets caught up in the idea of someone, but then once reality hits, she realizes that the fantasy is different than reality. So, she's pretty much done with Salah. All right. So, all right, let's see. All right. This is something cute from BNS. And your puppers, his favorite place is his bed. And I don't blame him because the bed looks really comfy. He's going straight for that bed. Boom. He likes his bed. This is a clip from Hidden Truths. Let's watch.
Even if the email was you, I don't honestly see the problem. She's crazy. Maybe her mom needs to know. But like, I don't do that. I don't think about her like in my daily life. I don't think to how am I gonna like get her back. Like I'm not like that.
Yeah, you are. You are a vindictive, evil, rotten, wrathful person to the point where you bragged about you're so vindictive and you're so wrathful because you're an Aries. And I'm sure all the Aries people, they don't even claim you because of that. You're a shame to all of the Aries zodiac people. Yeah, you're exactly like that. You'll get back at somebody if you want to get back at them. Okay, Queen Nader El Shami says milk tea has the best stance on the Foodie Beauty and Missy Moo BS. What's the point of quote? What's the point of their feud? Is Missy going to prove she's better than Foodie? Is Foodie going to prove she's better than Missy? Don't trip on the low bar you're setting for your life there, girls. End quote. Well said, Milk Tea. Well said. Let's see what else we got here. Here's something really nice from the best. Every living thing does not want to leave where it's happy. Aw. The birdie's like, hey, I'm happy. What's that old saying? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Well, there's a bird in the hand. Right there. That's what it looks like. Okay, now, Foodie did some mukbangs. Y'all, I'm not covering those stupid mukbangs. I refuse. I don't want to watch her eat. I know you guys don't want to watch her eat. You don't want to listen to her eat with the jaw clicking and the chomping sounds. Gross. But the reason why I saved this on my feed is Foodie's bringing back something that she used to do in her classic mukbangs. I mean, we're going all the way back here, all the way back to classic Foodie, like 3-4 years ago, when she had a beezer that he just had this thing where he could not stand the sound of a metal fork scraping against the plate. So the beezer actually bought her a big wooden spoon and a big wooden fork to use for her mukbangs, and she would use those in her mukbangs. So she's back to using the big serving spoons to eat with in her mukbangs. You know, she's doing the nostalgia thing with her beezers. She's trying to bring back things that she used to do to evoke a sense of nostalgia with people. And it was gross then, and it's gross now, Foodie. All right. Oh, this is from Massimo. Bees can be blue. The blue carpenter bee is non-aggressive and semi-solitary. They do not build hives like honeybees, but instead prefer to live inside dead wood. I did not know that bees could be blue. Did you? It's beautiful to look at, but I did not know there were such things as blue bees. And here's something from Amazing Nature. Most beautiful peacock under the sun. Wow. Very majestic looking. This might be some potential tea from Ray. I guess this might be from a Reddit or something. I'm not sure. But somebody was asking the question about Foodie and her money. My thing is, where on earth are they getting the money to move so much and buy all those phones? She doesn't have a job, and YouTube can't possibly be paying all that well for her. As for him, I don't even know what he does, but whatever it is, he obviously doesn't do much, if anything at all. I don't get it. Now, a person by the name of Spiritual Humor replied back with, here is the thing. I used to live in the Middle East in a country very close to Kuwait. When you rent anything there, there is literally nothing the landlord can do to kick you out. There are also no legally binding contracts, income, or background checks. You just apply to rent wherever you like, and the landlord accepts or rejects you based on if he likes you or not. During my time in the Middle East, I moved 4 times over the span of 1.5 years. One of the apartments was given to me on a 1-year agreement, but I moved out anyways, and the landlord could not do a thing. Tenants can stay in a rental for months without paying and then leave without facing any consequences. So, yeah, I guess she's got that on her side over there. It's like she doesn't have to deal with somebody looking into her finances or her bankruptcies or whatnot. So maybe that's the reason why they have a little bit extra play money. Here's a cute picture from Why You Should Have a Cat. Okay, now you guys want to know why I'm not reviewing her mukbangs? Here is a perfect example as to why.
Stuff with wait, let me
shut up, Foodie. I don't want to hear you talk. All right, so this is from one of the mukbangs. So what's in the pan is supposed to be lasagna. Although anybody that's made lasagna, you know you don't make it like that. It don't look like that. And she's got this huge bowl of grape leaves stuffed with rice. That bowl right there could service an entire party of people. So she's got all kinds of lasagna in the pan and this huge, huge bowl of stuffed grape leaves. The portion sizes are out of control. And y'all wonder why I'm not going out for the mukbangs. I am not going to watch that. I'm just not. No. Okay. One last one before we get into the react itself. I just want to leave things on a good note. From why you should have a cat. What a beautiful picture. It's funny and it's pretty all at the same time. I'm sorry, I just have to laugh looking at that. That's so precious. So precious. Okay. So let's get into the actual live stream, y'all. Let's get into the actual live stream. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Okay. All right. Y'all ready? Are you locked in with me? You're ready to go? You got a nice cold drink? You're ready for this nonsense? Let's do it. Okay, before we get started, I have an idea. I am renaming the shisha. Yes, I am. Just because Foodie is so incredibly obnoxious with it. I hate the sound of it because even with a silencer, it's still annoying me. So I'm renaming the shisha. I'm renaming it the shartsa because it does sound like a shart. It sounds like a wet fart. So she's smoking the shartsa. That's right. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Let's do this.
Come on, people. There's not going to be any notification because I uploaded.
Oh, listen to her. Come on, people. Come on. Hurry up and get in here. The attitude already. Hurry up and get in here. Hurry up and get in here. Well, you know what, Foodie? You know why people are confused? Because before this live stream, you had one scheduled for 2 hours earlier and you canceled that. So you made another live because you wanted to go ahead and go right now. You didn't want to wait 2 hours. You know the rule, girl. On YouTube, whenever you do something, if you do more than 3 videos or more than 3 live streams a day, YouTube will not send out notifications. That's just what they do. So if you keep screwing up and you're making lives and then canceling them, is it any wonder that people are getting confused because you say, oh, there's a live over here. No, I changed my mind. There's a live over here. You just figure out what you're doing and then people can, then they can find you.
3 streams in one, 2 videos in one stream in one day. So no notifications.
Right. So she just said it. So if she's done multiple things per day, after the third one, YouTube says, nope, we're not going to let people know. So it's not the fault of YouTube or the people. It's just you're doing too much.
But I might talk to myself.
Well, you do that anyway in the comments section, don't you? With your 150 stock accounts. So that's nothing new for you.
Did you get a notification? I don't think so, huh? I should have made a coffee. I forgot to. Darn it. Hey, Kane's mama. Hey. What's up, guys? Well, even if it's just the 2 of you right now. No, you didn't, eh? Yeah, because I did the mukbang within 24 hours. Mukbang, something else, I forget. Oh yeah, that weird cartoon. And the live stream, so nobody will get notifications.
Yeah, that's 3. So you're already maxed out.
The thing is, Aisha, like, I can't schedule live streams, and I can't notify people ahead of time, hey, Chantal Stalker, that I'm going live because of the fact that people will stream snipe me. I at least want a little bit of a head start, you know? I think that's fair. Here they come. Big toe, hello. My bees.
You know what? Back in the day when Foodie was really making money, it didn't bother her if people were covering her content at the same time that she was doing it. It didn't bother her because at that time she understood that, one hand kind of washes the other. Yes, she does her content, But we reactors cover it. We give our opinions, we give our feelings, but it didn't bug her. It bugs her now because her views are going down, her subs are going down, people aren't as interested. She's not getting it through her head that the mukbang trend isn't as popular as it used to be, and her content has gotten stale. It's gotten really, really stale, and that's why the interest in foodie has kind of fallen off. And it's not the reactor's fault, like she's the one making the content. She can make it as interesting as she wants it to be. It's just that she chooses not to. So back in the day, it didn't bother her if people covered her. It bothers her now because she's got it in her head that she thinks that we're taking money out of her pocket. Meanwhile, she's over there and frequently she deletes her own content, which could make her money. So in the time when she was making money, she was cool with people reacting to her, but she's concerned with counting the pennies and thinking that other people are taking them away from her, which we're not.
Scissors. My hug box. So I have some things to talk about. As you could probably see from the thumbnail, so I'll start on that. I'm going to be smoking my shisha, relaxing, enjoying a sun kissed. So, and then eventually people will notice this live stream and just like watch it after. That's fine.
Right. So, like, you are all incensed about people covering your live stream, knowing that a lot of people will catch it on the replay, provided that you leave it up. So don't worry about losing money, Foodie. The people that want to watch you, they can still watch you whether you're live or not.
You're gonna make a wee coffee? I should have made one, but I'm having sweet orange juice instead. So Salah's out and with his 8th wife. So I know I need to freeze them. I know. I always forget. Sounds so good. Hey, Lolo, yeah. It must be pretty early where you guys are, huh? Namaste, Anita. Hello. So, hope you guys are all doing well and you had a nice Mother's Day and yada, yada, yada. All the, proverbial crap. Gemini Gem! Hi. So there's just some, he's got 8 now, yeah. Yeah, they changed the rules. They're allowed 8 wives now. 2023. Yeah, this abaya is nice, eh? Thank you. I have
So I guess if Foodie's plan was to get the new apartment, and maybe the thinking with her was if I got this nicer apartment, he'll stay home a lot more with me. I guess that didn't exactly work out, did it, Foodie? Because he's still out and away from you.
a handful of abayas and I just rotate them. My favorite one, which is just black, but it has like a little bit of detail and has pockets. And I love the way it fits me. Is actually a little damaged. So when I wear that one, I stained it. So it can't come out. Stain can't come out. And I have to wear a long abaya for that one.
Hey, how about this, Foodie? You're making thousands a month on YouTube. If you damage one of your abayas because it's stained or ripped, why not just throw that away and get a new one? I know this is a really, interesting concept for you, throwing away damaged, stained clothes and putting them in the trash and buying new ones. But you got the money. Why aren't you buying new abayas if you need them?
So, sucks. I could get a new one, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
or maybe in the future when you get new ones, make sure they don't get damaged or stained. Put on a bib or something to protect the abayas from getting stained. Take some care in your appearance and your clothes.
I never did henna, no. It is nice though. I do like it. So let me start by saying where I see these things, okay? I don't go and look to seek out what people are saying about me. But
Liar, 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 pants on fire. Yes, you do.
sometimes things that are like going too far are brought to my attention.
By who? How are things brought to your attention? I mean, who's bringing them to your attention? You're trying to pass the buck and say that you don't go looking for things, other people bring them to you. But if you're not interested in the drama, like you say you are, then you would say to those people, look, I'm not interested in what's going on over there. I'm doing me over here. Even if somebody brings you some stuff, you can say, thank you very much for letting me know, but I'm not going to talk about it and I'm not interested. But obviously, you're very interested. Do I believe that people are bringing you things? No, I think you seek out things because what else you got to do all day?
So, you know, um, how do I start addressing this? As you can see from my thumbnail, like I find like okay, so there's some reaction channels who are we can't control what trolls do. Trolls are going to be crap. They have no life. They're going to try to infringe on my life always. That's just, maybe if I stop addressing it for a long, long, long period of time.
How is reacting infringing on your life? We're on our channels. You do the content on your channel. We react to it. We give our opinions on our channel. How is that infringing on your life? Explain that to me. Explain it. How are we infringing on your life if all we're doing is having a channel on YouTube and reacting to a video? Because I just can't see where you come up with that idea.
That will change. Hi, Malik. Hi. Because, why do something if you're getting no reaction? It's just like boredom, I guess, like children. Just like children, don't pay attention to them, they'll stop what they're doing. But these are adults, okay? Supposedly with better, happier lives than what I have. Hmm. So, um, I want to say though that we can't control. There's people who are like, you know, doing really nasty things about our building and all this and that. So,
By the way, Foodie, as far as somebody renaming your building the luxury fart box, you're pointing the finger at the reaction channels. How do you know that a reactor or reaction channel did that? You don't know. There might be some random person out in the world that might be a viewer or has heard about you. They might have done it. You can't automatically say the reaction channels are responsible if you don't know, because you have made it your business to be the most offensive, vulgar, feral beast of a woman on YouTube. You made it your business to be the most hated, to be the most talked about, to be the most dramatic, to be the most gross. Lots of people can not like you, not just reactors. It could have been anybody that did that.
um, like calling it a fart box or whatever. Like, yeah, I know one time online I was like farting my life away, but now I'm Muslim and I don't fart. Okay, so okay. Anyway, whatever. That's stupid. It's not going to have the reaction that they hope for because people here, and I say this because I've lived in both parts of the world. Okay, I've lived in the West and now I live here. There are laws protecting people from defamatory comments in this part of the world. There are laws protecting people. You don't have the right, Jessica, you don't have the right to defame people here. You don't have the right to.
And by the way, Foodie, as far as the residents of Kuwait, you're not even a resident. I'm sure that there are laws and things in place to protect those who live in Kuwait, but you're on a visitor visa, a tourist visa. You're not even a resident. And your visa is going to be up in about 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, if you decide to stay, you're overstaying your visa. So, what rights can you claim in Kuwait if you're not even a citizen?
insult people here online and ruin their image. It just doesn't happen. People are more mature. Like in public, I saw. Let me compare it. For example, I saw a video. Like people are not on the street drunk, throwing up and making jerks of themselves. That they don't do these things to people. Like Salah was so surprised at how some of these people behave. Okay,
Why is Foodie speaking on other people and talking like she goes out constantly and she talks to people and she's out in the city and she notices things like, oh, there are people out in the street throwing up, blah blah blah, when this woman doesn't set foot out of the house? She's judging an entire society based on what she thinks is going on, and she stays holed up all the time. And let's be clear, Foodie. You talk about other people in the street throwing up, doing rugs, but yet wasn't that what you were doing in your house? Weren't you in the villa doing the rugs, throwing up, getting drunk? You were doing that in your own house. So do you have any reason to speak, any way to speak on other people and what they do? No.
yeah,
You
exactly.
spent an entire year smoking the green from morning till night and doing massive amounts of the party favors. $3,000 worth of white powder. Yeah, that was you. We remember. So can you speak on things like that? No.
Exactly, Jessica. I'm getting to that. Um, Hold on. Or what? Let me know if the quality's okay. Is it okay? Hello. Yeah, Kane's mama. So that's the thing. People,
I just had a thought and I'm just going to share it with my audience while it's still in my head so I don't forget. So, Foodie, when she did the apartment reveal, she did something that she did not do with the first place that her and Salah were at. The first place that they were at, she did not show the outside. She didn't show any identifying markers. And even though people could triangulate about the area that they were in, but when she did the new apartment reveal, she made sure to show us all kinds of things, the layout of the place, the buildings outside. And because of that, it took people absolutely no time at all to figure out exactly where she was. And now that people know and people are talking about it on Twitter and revealing it and stuff on YouTube, now she's talking about anybody who shows where she's at, she's going to go after them. So I have to wonder if, Foodie, you deliberately did that for that reason. Did you deliberately show the outside and you showed as much as you did just to set people up to then complain about them for privacy? I wonder.
don't do that here. So if they see something like trolling online, they're just gonna like people think that they're gonna stain my image here and be like, oh, she's so gross, whatever. People are just gonna move on with their day. They don't think of these. They don't think like this. They don't think you know like people do that like the trolls do. It's not the same culture at all. So um maybe there are people who do it, but they probably do it in secret because they can be persecuted for it, right? That we can't control, though people come trying to like mess with my life. But what we can control, I'd like to know how.
Actually, you can control that, Foodie. You've been on YouTube for years. And you know how the people are, okay? You know about Kiwi Farms. You know that any little revealing thing that you show, people can just pick that up and run with it and find out things, right? I mean, you know how known, infamous you are. So I would think that if you cared about your privacy, if you cared about Salah's privacy, you would be much more careful about showing things, but you're not. So it's weird. What on one side you complain about people invading your privacy and revealing too much. On the other side, you're careless and you're reckless with showing us things. So do you really care about your privacy or don't you?
How it's okay to bring more attention to it, to platform it. You know, like I get so much crap that I'm a vile person
You are.
because I dox people.
You do.
No, I'm not the one making videos pinpointing, showing a map of my location. All right. I think showing a map with a pinpoint, it's so immature. It's so immature. People will just find it immature here and stupid and probably not even really understand everything that's going on. And they're not going to look into the lore. Like these are people with families and like jobs and they don't care, you know? So it's just, you're just trying to damage businesses because it really has no effect on me. You know, like really. Anyway, but I don't care about that. Whatever. Like we have
Well, if you don't care about it, why are you talking about it? Make that make sense.
the responsibility too as well. Um well, yeah, full throttle because I think that it's important to address these things about this platform. What they do outside of the platform, I have no control over, and I know giving it attention makes it worse. So yeah, that's the goal, not to. But like, I think that platforming it, like pinpointing on a map where I live and making a video about it, is ridiculous. Like, it's just so low and so stupid. Like, how is it okay to do that? You know what I mean? Like, do a video condemning people doing that, but then showing the map of where we live. And we do have, you will wear no makeup and look, oh, thank you, Anita. Yeah, like, there's other people living in the building. There's like other people's safety that they don't care about just to try to make me mad and rage. And this is not a rage. This is me addressing an issue just like everyone else does. You know what I mean? Because if I were to dox somebody, it would be the talk of the YouTube world forever. I would be the most vile person. But it's okay for them to put a map location of where I live. Like, you know, we have a responsibility, yes, to try to hide, you know, if we didn't want people to know where we live, I guess we could do videos right in front of a wall. How interesting would that be? Doing
Well, hello. Anybody want to tell her? That's what most of your live streams and videos are, like you just right in front of a wall. And it's not interesting. So what do you mean?
a video just in front of a wall. No, we wanted to show you our apartment. We wanted to do something positive. You know what I mean? Like we
No, it wasn't about you being positive. It was about you boasting. Oh, look, we got this seaside villa, even though honestly it's not next to the ocean. It's close, but it's not that close. You know, you listen, Foodie, you did this. When you were back in Canada, you bragged all about Salah. You said he was a successful businessman. He was an entrepreneur. He made so much money, you could quit YouTube, and he was so in love with you. And every single thing that you told us then has turned out to be a lie. Because when you popped up in that first apartment, nothing that you said matched. Nothing that you said about Salah and the living situation matched. That's why there was so much flack for it. Do you understand? If you had said back in Canada, oh, we're going to live in a much more humble way, like, you know, he's just a normal guy, blah, blah, blah. And then we saw the apartment, nobody would have had anything to say. But you really talked him up. You really blew things out of proportion. And then when you guys moved into this villa, you know, you blew it up again. It's a seaside villa. Look at the views. Well, you got those big windows, but now they're covered with plastic. So you went from a smaller box to a little bit bigger box, but it's still a box. And you're still going to sit in a box and eat and do nothing but eat. You know, so the situation has not changed. The location might have changed, but the situation is exactly the same.
wanted to whatever. So we didn't protect our privacy. Honestly, we don't care. Like I said, Kuwait's not the same. People are not going to show up here and threaten us and everything like that.
Right. Like, listen, so you're telling the audience we don't care. If you don't care, then why is this a topic of conversation for a live stream? You're saying we don't care, and yet I guess you're acting like you care. You're talking about it, and the tone is, I do care, and this bothers me. So if you don't care, why are you putting out this vibe of it bothers me enough that I need to talk about it? I mean, pick a lane, Foodie. I'm getting confused.
It's so illegal. So many things are so illegal and harder to get away with here. So we're not afraid of that. But I'm just pointing out that it's just a crappy thing to do. In my opinion, it's like, you know, let's pull up a map. Like some reaction channels are famous for that. Let's pull up a map and see exactly where this person lives and then like condemn trolls for attacking the location. But you're helping it be found, you know? I don't even have to say this goes without saying if you're somebody.
And I'm just noticing something while she's talking. Y'all are looking at the chat, right? That sucker is hardly moving. Like I keep refreshing it thinking it's gotten stuck. But during this live stream, there must not have been that many people because look, it's practically at a standstill. This is a far cry from how the VIP chat used to be. Get the clue, Foodie. Your content is stale. People are not interested. They're losing interest, and it has nothing to do with the reaction channels. We're not stopping people from watching you, from super chatting you, from sending you super stickers. Your channel declining is completely your fault.
Who takes the time to pinpoint someone's location, you're a moron and you have no life. That goes without saying. Rage Against the Machine. I mean, that's just you live in a small home. It's bad where you live at beach. I know they're trying to like say, oh, the area is so bad, blah blah blah. Whatever. So anyway, I don't care what people say about that. Whatever. We love it here. We love to live here. That's not going to change. Whatever. Your place is nice. They have nothing to say. I know. True. Why is it withholding messages? Stupid and annoying. Morons be following you around via Google Maps. Yeah, if you want to search my location, do it on your own then, but you don't have to publicize it. You know what I mean? Everyone hates Corona. Yeah, him too. There's other ones though that just like, you know what I mean? There's other, it's not just him. There's other pathetic people who this hair is bugging me, this lint. Who try to who have done that. There's other people who have done it first, like did a full lowdown showing our whole building. You could vaguely say she lives in this area, blah blah blah. You don't have to give like the exact block, the exact apartment. Like why are these things relevant? You know what I mean? Other than anyway, I'm after this stream, I'm actually gonna sign into the laptop and privacy strike every single person who put our exact location in their videos.
Boom. That's why I think she showed as much as she did of the new apartment. She was setting a trap. The first apartment, she showed nothing. They kept it really, really quiet. The second apartment, they showed everything, knowing that Kiwi Farms and everybody would start doing their research, start doing their digging. She set a trap. She knew that people would do the research, people would do the digging, and they would probably find out where she lived. And they might talk about it on Twitter. They might talk about it on the reaction channels. She did that on purpose. So she could privacy strike people, get videos or live streams or whatnot taken down. Yeah, I see you.
And argue that there's no good intent in that. And we'll see. Maybe they'll keep it up because, you know, our name and everything is not in it. It's a public listing. But you're platforming, you know, things that could potentially be harmful. So, hi, Louise. Hi, Material Girl.
I don't know how effective a privacy complaint would be from Foodie because people just show the building. There's lots of people that live in that building. They didn't say the exact apartment number. There could be any number of apartments in there. So I don't think there was really an exact address. There was just a street and an apartment building number, but that's it. So can she go through with a privacy complaint? I don't know, because there wasn't an exact address.
I don't get the obsession either. What does it accomplish? Exactly. You know, like if I did that to them and put their exact location where they live exactly, they would cry for weeks. They would go hide off the internet. You know, there's reactors who do that. They run and hide the minute we outline anything about their life. Oh, you know, cry victim. To be honest, no one gives a shit if they know where we live or not, because this is immature and childish behavior, obviously from the brainless haters channels. And just ignore these nuts, baby, period. Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't affect our life at all. Like, it doesn't. Like, I don't know. But it's just, I wanted to speak out against, like, the hypocrisy always. Always, always pointing it out how it's like, it's okay for them. It's okay for them to cry victim if it's done to them, and even in a less invasive way, but it's okay for them to platform putting up on the map my exact location. Like, are you
Again, I'm just going to say again, it's not an exact location. There was a building and there was a street, but nobody is saying her unit number. That would be an exact address. I don't think anybody's done that.
are you serious? Yeah, they're saying there's prostitutes. There's prostitutes everywhere. Everywhere. Are you kidding? You're gonna act like there's not more prostitutes in the US? Please. If you weren't so intriguing, people wouldn't stalk you. It's literally like drugs to them. It's so sad. I'm always amazed at adults acting like this, you know? Yeah. So I just find that wrong and I wanted to speak out against it, you know? Um I don't know what people are talking about. You need 100K people to have a YouTube manager. That's not true. Like, I did Google it and it does.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you have a YouTube manager, Chantal. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why is that a big deal? Why is having a YouTube manager a big deal? Somebody please answer that for me. What could a YouTube manager do for her? Could it make her content better? Could it make her views go up? Could it increase the amount of super chats? No. So why is she acting like it's a big deal when it's not? Even a YouTube manager can't stop her ship from sinking.
Does say that on one website, but then how do I have a manager? Like, I had that one manager from a while ago. Then I didn't hear from them for like ever. And then I got an email recently that somebody was taking their place. And you know, every time I have a manager, I just basically like I don't really ask them for much. I just like there's certain channels that are problematic. Is there anything you can do about that? So I'm just waiting to hear back, but that's about all I need their help with, really. I mean, I don't know. I guess tips, but that's what they do is give you tips.
Right. Like they just give you tips. They can't help you with the overall health or well-being of your channel or even yourself. They just give you advice. And does Chantal listen to advice? No. So what is the point of having a YouTube manager?
But they said they would look into some things for me, but that's about it. I don't know. These people going too far, doxing people, and they think we're going to be afraid of insecure about the new home. They're jealous as fuck, obviously. Just they cry from attention like a kid who needs a toy. No, it's true. They act more childish than children. I've never in my life seen adults like do these kind of things. It's so gross. You're the best thing to happen to Chantal. Yeah. And I think people are like big mad about that. Like a lot of people, it's been very revealing to me and shocking, but it's finally set in. People hate when other people are happy. Their misery loves company for sure, 100%. And they think that
Chantal, you're not happy. And I'm sure Salah is not happy. Ma'am, you're in Kuwait. And I remember when you were in Canada. Were you gaining weight in Canada? Yes, you were. But now that you're in Kuwait, you're gaining weight much more rapidly. Everybody can see it. If you were such a happy person, a well-balanced person, Why are you diving so deep into food? I would think a person who is happy would want to focus on themselves and better themselves, but you're just diving deeper into that dark hole. And you can't tell me otherwise. You got a problem with food and you're using food to soothe yourself and you're using it as medication, but that medication cannot treat your problems. You're using the wrong medication for the wrong problem. Something physical, like food, cannot help something that is emotional or mental.
I would always, they're wrong about me. They were wrong about me. They think I was always going to be a train wreck,
You are.
which is not the case. Black's chaos. Looking over back of our rebees. Hey Blacks, hey Blacks. Hello Beezers. Hi babe. It's a very nice apartment.
Okay, now I'm going to address this comment because it really ticks me off. I don't know who this person is. I've never seen their name, but they are a Beezer. This person says, Salon Chantal, your home is really beautiful, and literally it's a very nice apartment. They're probably on welfare and disability like Gary Unfiltered. You know what? I don't know who the fuck you are saying that, but I'm going to address you saying that. First of all, there are lots of people who are on welfare. If you're on welfare, there is no shame in being on welfare. Sometimes, if you need help, you got to take the help. By saying that about Gary, you're shading everybody else who might be on welfare. I don't know if you realize that, but there's no shame in it accepting help if the help is there, whether you're on welfare or any other kind of public assistance. But Gary is not on welfare, okay? Gary is not even reacting to anybody right now. Why are you bringing up his name? Fuck off with that. He's my friend. Don't talk about him that way. Coward. Saying things about somebody who's not even reacting right now. Sorry for the ugly language, but that just makes me angry. Shading people who are on welfare when some people have to be on welfare. There's nothing shameful about accepting help. And there are lots of people who are on disability. Again, if you need help, accept the help if it helps you. If it helps you get by, accept the help. But by talking trash about welfare and disability, you're not just shading one person, you're shading a whole bunch of people, and shame on you for that.
They're probably yeah, and I mean that's fine if they are, but then don't like shame other people for their homes either. They be hating when you're up. Yeah, exactly. Well, you can stay mad because, I don't know. It is. It's true. Misery loves company. And it was so hard for me to wrap my mind around that. Like, and then they try to like deflect or try to use the excuse that I'm a vile person. Meanwhile, these people calling me vile are the same ones doxing my location, doxing other people, calling my mom a whore, just making up disgusting rumors about us. And I'm just sitting here beezing, and addressing things, yeah, in my self defense sometimes. Yeah, sure. No more hamsters for me. He's a handful. My membership, I guess, turned off, made me sad, but just rejoined. Yay! You're working at it's middle of working day. It's true, Blacks. They have no lives. It's true. Hi, Witchy. Hi. And thanks for rejoining. Um, Glendora, California. Oh, I don't know about that. But thanks, Louise. Thanks for the super chat. Eat Howie. Who called your mom a whore? FFG. She sat there and targeted my mom for a whole live stream. Um, yeah, work out hard, baby. I'm going tomorrow. I have a lot of work to do in the home. I have to clean. I was going to go live and clean, but I want to get these things out that I have to say. So I want to address also, I want to point out some things about Yo Mama. Okay. I appreciate that he calls out people fairly. He calls people out fine. but I don't think that he's 100%. I don't think that he's really, I think he's still biased in a lot of ways. And I'll point out some examples. Now, he gave me crap yesterday in his live stream for not reacting to Charlie, not giving Charlie praise for coming after FFG. And I'll tell you why that is. Yes, I find her roasting FFG funny in a defense of my mother, and this is low for me to say. But there was a funny dig where she said, "Yeah, enjoy your stream, babe. Don't worry, I can handle it. I mean, enjoy your workout. I can handle it." Small housewarming gift. Oh, thanks, Witchy. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! You're so sweet and beautiful. Thank you. Thank you guys for your positivity and for being here listening to me. Um, my hug box and my fart box. So, I feel like a celebrity. No, I don't want to be. Louise. So, I mean, why can you answer me this? Why he thinks that I should have reacted to Charlie and basically it sounds like kind of team up with Charlie in that respect. Charlie's a reactor, she's a reactor. To team up and go after FFG. Okay, instead of talking about Missy whatever. So, here's the thing. Yeah, she had some good digs, okay. Um, FFG said my mom was a whore. She called her all these disgusting names, and she was a whore, blah, blah, blah. And then Charlie said, well, your mom can't afford to.
Now, y'all are paying attention to this, right? So, in the beginning of the stream, Chantal says to all of us, I don't pay attention to the drama. People just send me stuff, and I hear about it through other people. But she's saying very clearly right here, like, oh, FFG said that, and Charlie said that. So clearly she watches everybody. So you do pay attention to drama, don't you, Chantal? Yes, you do. You're peeping, you're lurking. We know that.
To be a whore because look at the offspring she made. You look like a bulldog and a frog, so she probably couldn't afford to be a whore, which was funny. So, but beyond that, she'll then turn around and say that FFG and I are the same, that I'm vile, that she's gonna go back to picking on me. So why am I gonna support somebody who I had long time beef with? Like, if you're gonna call out hypocrisy, you're gonna go in one breath, freak out, leave your chair, say that these people are shit reactors because all they do is target one person, then you need to go back at the history of Charlie's channel and look at her history. You need to look at her history of the channel. She started, I want you to know, right from the get go, right when the channel was born, right out of the Garden of Eden, I didn't do anything to this person, okay? I was doing my thing. I was failing at diets. Clearly, so were her and FFG. And that's not a dig, that's a fact.
You know what? I've been watching Chantal for a long time. I can't think of a single period where she was serious about a diet. I do remember all the way back when she started her channel, like most new YouTubers, she was exploring about what content to do. She had much more variety with her content in the very beginning of her channel than she does right now. She was doing makeup looks, she was doing makeup hauls, shopping hauls. She even did some video game playthrough content, believe it or not. She was showing herself going out and shopping and doing all kinds of different vlog type things. And then she started doing the mukbang thing. And she paid attention to the numbers and the attention. And she locked into the mukbang content, and that's all she decided to do was that. So in the beginning of your channel, Chantal, you were trying to figure things out. You were paying attention to the analytics and the numbers. And then once you stumbled into the mukbang community and the numbers started going up, that's when you locked into that, even though that kind of content is not good for you because you got a problem with food. So you monetized your problem rather than seek help for it. And here we are. You're still monetizing your problem with food and it's affecting your health, but you don't give a doggone because it keeps making you money. but you want to go and criticize somebody else's content, but look at your content. I mean, let's be honest. It's self-harm content. You are hurting yourself. You are hurting your body with what you're doing, and yet you won't stop. Every YouTuber, when they start up a channel, they may or may not in the beginning know what they're going to do. They may or may not have a certain solid direction. They may choose a different direction later on. I know I've done it. You know, YouTube is just something that it's about exploration. You can start off in one area and go to a completely different area. But that's the beauty of just exploring and figuring out what you want to do. But we all have those beginnings of just creating a channel and saying to ourselves, I don't know about this. I don't know about YouTube. I have no experience here. What can I do? And then as you go, you figure it out.
Because these people started their channels. If you want to say that I'm the same as FFG, no. Charlie and FFG are very similar. So you need to like look at that hypocrisy, because they both started their channels claiming that they're going to be better and lose weight than Amberlynn and I, okay? Now the thing is, and this will get ignored because it doesn't suit people's narratives.
Well, I'm going to put a little fact out there. In the very beginning, Chantal was actually lighter in weight than Amberlynn Reed. For a while, she was about 200 pounds lighter than Amber. And here's a sad fact. At this very moment, both Amber and Chantal, they're both about the same weight, or very, very, very close. Now Chantal has caught up in weight to Amberlynn Reed. Amber's somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 pounds, so is Chantal. So it used to be where Chantal was smaller in weight than Amber, but over the course of time, she's quickly caught up.
The thing is, they both have gained weight or stagnant. They haven't done any weight loss content on their channels from the get-go since then. They've become reaction channels, hate channels against Amberlynn and I. And it's okay for them.
And why are you taking it for Amber all of a sudden? You let Salah go in on Amber a while ago. Like, you just can't make up your mind about Amber. 1 minute you are defending her, the next minute you're putting her down.
To just go back to that. That's fine. That's fine. But it's not okay for all the other channels that your mama goes after to just pick on one person. But it's okay for Charlie to do it. And even if they did lose weight and were successful, it doesn't give.
Can I ask you a question, Chantal? Why are you so concerned about what content a content creator is doing? Like what kind of content they choose to do on their own channels? Ma'am, you should be worried about the content you're doing on your channel. Maybe that's part of your problem, the fact that you've got your eyes on everybody else and, oh, they should be doing this or they're not doing that, versus your own channel. Get your eyes on your own thing. Come up with some new content, something interesting, something great for your audience, versus spending all of your time following everybody else around and noticing what content they're choosing to put out on their channels. In other words, mind your business. Because on your side, business is not good.
Give them the right to come target us. So to say, well, Chantal's vile, so that's why we react to her. We react to her behavior. Okay, let's analyze that. So one of her examples for analyzing my past behavior and why we deserve all this bullying and hate ongoing is that I had a suicide attempt when I was 15. So if you do the math, I'm 39. I think that's more than double. Like, no. There should be a statute of limitations if you're going to go back into someone's past. Seriously? Okay, a suicide attempt when I was 15. Please. And I had many psychological issues. And you don't know my family history. You don't have any right. You're not a psychiatrist. You don't have the authority to talk about these issues, and to use that.
Basically, what she's saying is if a certain incident is years and years old, we shouldn't be able to talk about it. And yet Chantal is always bringing up things from her distant past, isn't she? She'll talk about people from 20, 30 years ago that she worked with, that she knew, that she was associated with. Remember all those story times? Her talking about things from when she was back in school, or one of her first jobs, and a boss that she didn't like, or a guy that she was with. She's always bringing up the past. She's always talking about past things versus present things. But she's saying to the audience right now, oh, reactors should not be able to talk about things from my past. But yet, Chantal, you're constantly bringing up the past because you have nothing good in the present to bring to people.
As justification for your body shaming, your non-diet shaming. She's not going to fit in the shower, blah, blah, blah. By the way, I do. So I find that just very hypocritical. Like, I'm sorry.
And I want to point this out. Chantal's been trying to tell us for months she's happy, that her life is much more happy in Kuwait than it was in Canada. Here's where I know you're lying, Chantal. Because if you were a truly happy person, if you were moving forward with your life, you wouldn't have time or energy or focus to pay attention to anything negative said about you. You would have the mindset of, I've got life going on for myself and I'm doing all these things and I don't care what people say about me. I'm just going to move forward. But you're not moving forward. You're sitting still. Sitting still means there's no action. No action means nothing's changing. So, how can you sit there and say, I am happy, when you're constantly complaining and bringing up things from your past and complaining about people bringing up things from your past? You have to know that you sound like a broken record a lot because you're always bringing up Natter, things that happen with Natter. You talk about the past constantly. You have nothing new to report. You have nothing new to say. And it's a shame because we would love to talk about something new, but there is nothing new.
Yeah, women should be lifting each other up, not trying to sit there all badass like, I can one up on you. I can get a better dig than you. Because honestly, I find all of
Ma'am, how many times have we heard you say, where's your man at? You don't have a man. You just sat there and said women should be lifting each other up. But anybody who's watched you for 5 minutes knows you hate other women. You are a woman hater. You hate anything of a female gender, especially human females. You look at them as competition. You don't want to share the spotlight with any other woman. Even if that woman wants to be a true friend, you still look at them as competition. You hate other women. How many community posts have you done where you go after other women, showing pictures, making disparaging remarks? You'll sit there and spend 10, 15 minutes making a awful thumbnail of a woman. Yeah, you did that. And you'll keep doing that. So don't talk to me about female empowerment and as a woman lifting other women up, because that is not you. You don't lift up other women. You hate other women. You are a woman hater. And that's a shame because women can make wonderful friends. They can be confidants. You can tell your secrets to them. They can help you be a better person. But you don't look at them as allies or valuable assets. You look at them as competition for attention. Your insecure, jealous mind won't let you get close to a woman.
those dicks childish and I don't want to react to them. I was addressing actual rumors that Missy was saying as falsehood, you know, but like these little childish digs between two creators, I don't care. And I'm not going to praise somebody who is going to just because we have solidarity in hating one person and then go back to treating me like crap and calling me vile in the same breath. It's not going to happen. Like there's this just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like so from the get-go, I did nothing to Charlie, okay? Did nothing to Charlie. Um, just like I did nothing to FFG. And they both react to me in vile ways. So they're more like, how am I like FFG? Do I have look where's the similarity? We have big chins? Like, are you kidding? Where's my channel targeting one person? Hi, Toriana. Yeah, why are all these other fat women making fun of the same two fat women online? And and Yo Mama, if you want to be completely non-biased, you have to include Charlie in that. You have to. She's the same. I don't care like if you
Are you trying to signal your mama to go after Charlie? Was that what that just was? Kind of sounds like it.
like her more for whatever reason. That's exactly, she does the exact same thing. She's exactly just like FFG. You know, maybe more articulated. But doesn't matter. And looks don't matter. Like what are we talking about? Who's uglier than who?
Remember what I said, y'all, before about Chantal is a person that if she wants any kind of battle to happen, she won't fight it herself. She'll look for somebody else to fight for her. You know, if we compare this to a game of chess, her queen piece sits at the back of the board unharmed, unscathed, so that she gets the benefit of saying, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I'm not involved in it. If somebody wants to take up a sword and fight for Foodie, she won't stop them. She'll say, go ahead, fight for me. Maybe that person doing it, they want to get brownie points with Foodie. But if they take damage, if they take the risk, if there's any kind of backlash, Foodie can be in the back saying, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Because she's always looking out for herself, looking out for her channel, looking out for her income. She's not going to take any risks just for that reason. She's protecting her income by doing that. Her channel has already been in trouble. She doesn't want to get in any further trouble. So anybody that wants to come forward and fight for Foodie, she'll let you. But if something happens to you, she won't protect you. She won't speak out for you. She'll let you just take all of the damage by yourself. So what she just did, was that her trying to signal Yo Mama to go after Charlie? Kind of sort of sounded like it.
Like who cares? Like, you know, it's never been an issue of like any looks, who cares? Like that doesn't make you a better person. Whatever. So I find it childish, honestly. And I go back to the roots. Like we have been targeted, Amber Lynn and I have been targeted by these people from the beginning. And we
Reacting to somebody is not targeting them. Y'all are looking at the chat right now as we speak in this reaction. You see the chat right here. And you guys have been reading it. Do you see any reaction channels in her VIB chat? Absolutely none. I don't see any reaction channel names here. I react to her frequently. I never see any reaction channels in the VIB chat, nor will there ever be, because we're not gonna be VIBs. We react to her. But we are not in her chat bothering her. Her VIBs are in there talking to her. We don't bother her in her chat. We don't bother her in the comments. But just reacting to a live stream or a video that is not targeting somebody, that is just us on our channels giving our opinion and our feelings. If people want to hear our feelings and opinions and our thoughts, they are free to do so. If they would rather support Foodie on her channel, they're free to do so. It's about freedom of choice. Those of you that are my viewers, you can go wherever it is you want to go. You can watch whoever it is you want to watch. You can sub up to whoever it is you want to sub up to. It's all about choice. I'm sure Foodie would love to take that choice away from people. She complains about the reaction channels, but at the same time, she knows, even she knows in her thick brain, that without the reaction channels, her channel would have tanked a long time ago, especially during that period where she was at home in Canada and every day she would be consistently smoking the green and be so zonked out of her brain that she was incoherent. You couldn't even talk to her. She would literally be like just, greened out. It was the reaction channels that kept that going by reacting to her, even though it was boring, even though there really wasn't much to talk about. Okay? So on one side, she hates us. She thinks we're taking her views. She thinks we're taking her money, even though she's got her content on her channel. People are free to watch it. She's free to make money off of it. On the other side, she knows without the reaction channels, her channel would have tanked completely a long time ago. So stop biting the hand that feeds you, Foodie. Cut it out.
We did nothing. We did our vlogs. We still do our vlogs. Amberlynn doesn't even bother to defend herself, and I need to take a page from her book in that.
That's because Amberlynn is smart. She understands the system. She does the content. Some reaction channels might react to her. That might lead to more subs, more views, more this, more that. She understands the system and she leaves the system alone because it works in her favor. You keep fighting against the system and it's stupid. A lot of people used to react to yourself and Amber a long time ago, but then Amber kind of fell off and she became too boring. So people kind of shifted away from Amber. And she noticed that. And she got to a point where she was so desperate for reactions, she was reacting to herself, which is sad. But she started missing all the reaction channels covering her. She saw that everything went downhill from there. But here you are, people still reacting to you. And rather than being grateful and saying, thank you, reaction channels, for keeping me a little bit relevant and keeping people interested in knowing about my content, you want to fight against it and complain about us.
Charlie is one of the OG chicks who only existed to try and be weight loss channel against Foodie Beauty. Exactly. Just like FFG. Similarities. Let's say that. And then, just like FFG, when I defend myself, she calls me a bigot. She finds some, just like FFG saying I'm anti-Semitic when I target her. So no, I can pinpoint more similarities between those two. Ones that people don't even care about, you know? Hi, Anastasia. Your arrests are not more than a decade of booze and stop drinking. Whatever. I mean, so I did nothing, doing my vlogs. Yeah.
Y'all looking at the chat right now. That chat is not moving. Wow. You're falling off, Chantal. I mean, that chat is not moving. That is not good.
I'm not succeeding at weight loss, whatever. Call out the crap, whatever. But, you know, then I started defending myself against her, you know, and I said some not nice things, of course, but it stopped eventually. Like, eventually, I didn't even talk about Charlie. And she still stays talking about me. She still stays targeting me, just like FFG. So she doesn't go real life. Okay, fine. She doesn't go real life, but she still does the same type of content. Which,
and what do you care? What do you care if somebody reacts to you? What do you care if I react to you or a bigger channel reacts to you? It's just a reaction, Chantal. It's not that serious. It's just somebody covering your content. What do you care? Be on your channel, make your money, whatever money you can, and focus on that. Stop focusing on what other people are doing and how they're doing it and focus on you. My God.
you don't call out. You know, she'll say something about FFG in your live stream, yo mama, and then she'll go, okay, so we're gonna go back to targeting Foodie Beauty, and you'll go, okay, yeah, facts, no cap, yeah. Okay, so that's okay for her to do it, but you're gonna call out FFG for doing the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, I said Charlie Cole. If you want to see that as a microaggression, fine, but I'm not racist. I explained that a million times. Gold coal. In my mind, very fast, it just came up with that because I didn't even think in my brain anything racist about it, you know? So she took that and she made it blew it up out of proportion, hugely, hugely. I even apologized for it at some point. Like, you know, and then she just kept it going and going, just like FFG with the cat. Now she has something to use, well, to justify her continued harassment, because now she can say that I'm an animal abuser, right?
You are.
She's an animal abuser. She's an animal abuser.
You are. And that's documented. You are. That is documented. There's paperwork. You are.
can target her because she's an animal abuser. There's always something. And then Charlie can do the same thing. Well, we can go after her because she's a bigot. Okay, yeah. So there are two peas in a pod. I don't know how people don't see it. So I'm not.
You know what's going on here, folks? Here's what's going on. Chantal's in Kuwait. And there's not much she can do over there. given the fact that she's in Kuwait and there's not much she can legally show as far as locations and people. She's been in Kuwait for months. She hasn't shown us very much of Kuwait. She's not in any kind of physical condition to go out and do active things. So, what is her content these days? It's really badly done mukbangs that are not attractive. It's talking about how wonderful Salah is, and it's complaining about reaction channels. That's all she's got left. And she wants to sit there and say, I'm a happy person. My life is better over here. No, you're much more miserable. And you know it. So you complain about the reaction channels, but at the same time, when you need a topic to talk about, when you need to make money, which you need to make money all the time now, because you got yourself to pay for, you've got Salah to pay for, you've got a food habit that's out of control that you also have to pay for. You'll gladly use the reaction channels as a topic of conversation. When you can choose not to, you can talk about anything else. But the whole thing with the food, people are bored with it. Your obsession with food is not everybody else's obsession with food. And maybe you're paying attention to the mukbang views. They're not getting it, are they? Because they're badly done mukbangs. They're boring. There's no creativity. There's no cohesiveness. There's no theme. It's just you buying food or cooking a skillet of food to wolf down on camera. Your money is falling off and your views are falling off. So to add a little spice to the blandness that is your content, you'll complain about the reaction channels. You hate us, but at the same time, you'll use us to make money. Hypocrite.
I'm not going to go and sit here and kiss her ass now just because she doesn't like FFG. I don't need people on my side to hate FFG. I don't need people on my side. Like, whatever. I'm an independent thinker. These are my thoughts. I never.
What? You're a what? Say that again. You're an independent thinker. Since when? When did this independent thinking come into play? Because I haven't seen it yet. I'll tell you what I have seen. Every time you get with a dude, you adapt whatever and whoever he is to yourself. You change with every man that you get with. Whatever they like, you like. Whatever they hate, you hate. You become a shadow of them because you have no personality of your own. You are not your own person. You are whatever person they need you to be so you can be accepted for a time until they get fed up with you and they kick you to the curb. And that does not point in the direction of independent thinking.
Never join forces with people just to get back at someone else. I'm not fake like that.
You are.
You people don't know me. You don't know my integrity. And I can tell you I have a lot more of it than a lot of people.
You have no integrity. You sold every bit of your soul and your health for the sake of a YouTube paycheck. So what integrity? Integrity who? Integrity where? We don't know her. At least you don't. I do. Don't speak to me about integrity. You have none. You'll do anything, you'll say anything that means one huge YouTube paycheck. And look at you now. You're in Kuwait. You're in bad health. You're gaining weight rapidly. You look very, very swollen these days, Chantal. You look very, very sick. And yet you'll do whatever it is you need to do to scrape together some more dimes, nickels, and pennies. If you had integrity, you would take care of yourself. You would turn things around, but you have none. You sold everything about yourself that was worth something to where you have nothing left. It's not just financial where the bankruptcies are. You're bankrupt spiritually. You sold every bit of yourself. There's nothing left to sell.
But because I'm not as popular for like whatever, people think I'm vile, but ignore the extremely vile actions of everyone else. Like the doxing, pinpointing my location, calling my mother whore, infertility shaming me that I'm not going to fit in my shower. Like, the list goes on. Like, you know, I knew what you meant about coal versus gold. It's not intended to be racist. Exactly. And honestly, context matters, you know, like And even if that was like, it doesn't make me a racist person. Like, I'm clearly not a racist person. Like, it's just whatever. I'm not even going to defend myself against that at all. I refuse to watch reactors. Yeah, me too. Like, I'm not even going to watch any of them anymore. Like,
Which implies that you were watching us before, but I thought you didn't pay attention to drama.
even if we watch Yo Mama, like, it's just still drama. It's a waste of time. It's a negative space because for some reason these people make me their center of the universe, like the center of attention. Like, just leave me out of it. You
Well,
have
what makes this hilarious is that when there was one day when all the channels are like, we're going to do a blackout today, meaning we're not going to react to Chantal, she freaked out. She freaked out about the channel saying, we're not going to react to her for a day or a few days. She actually freaked out. So she says, I don't want them to react to me anymore. But yet, when we say, okay, we're not going to react to you, she flips out. She absolutely wants us to react to her. A lot of her content she designs around the reaction channels to get them to react to her. No one can tell me otherwise.
other content, like talk about all of these crazy reactors like you do, like whatever. I don't want even want it. Like, why am I even being brought up? People are reaching. They always reach. They always reach. The people are lunatics. Mostly thing I couldn't believe she made up emails. I get it now. Actually, when I watched his live stream, that um, so she made up that email right when she had to release those DMs that don't exist, right? So she had to like be like, well, I'm scared now to release anything because Foodie Beauty threatened. No, I give you full permission. I will not do anything to you or your family. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, you hear that, Missy? Did you hear that? Listen, Chantal's a liar. Do I believe that she's telling the truth here? No. She's a liar. The two things we can always count on with Chantal, Chantal lies, but then again, she turns around and also tells on herself. But she just said, hey, release the DMs, Missy. I won't do anything to you. So let's see if Missy releases anything. If she doesn't, either A, she's still scared for her family, which all of us, we got family, we are concerned for their welfare. Understandable. But either A, she's still scared, doesn't believe Foodie, or B, she has nothing. But if she has nothing, then from here on out, it's just speculation tea versus real tea. I don't think Missy has anything to release. I really don't. I think this entire time she's been teasing the audience about having something. And by continuing to tease people, she built up her channel. But now she's arrived at the point where people are saying, release them or shut up. So she took it as far as she could. And people are fed up with waiting. So either release the DMs, Missy, or if you choose not to, then I guess from here on out with you, it's speculation tea, and nobody's going to be that interested. You've reached a dead end with your content.
If you want to release whatever you have fabricated, because there's nothing, no, I won't. So for her to use the excuse that she'll come after my family, because that wasn't even me who wrote that. Context does matter, and it isn't racist to call someone a lump of coal. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying, Crispy. She's a lump of coal instead of gold, like she says, because of her character. Nothing to do with her skin color, nothing. If I had time to think about it more, because I'm impulsive, and there's so many examples of that online to prove it, my life is impulsive. So law notices I'm impulsive. Then yeah, I probably would have thought, okay, yeah, I shouldn't say that, But to keep using that as an example of how I'm a bigot and I'm a horrible person is reaching, and it's defamatory, and I'm not going to kiss her butt no matter what she says about FFG, because at the end of the day, she's like her in that respect. I don't care how popular they are. I don't. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, you do. Chantal, you are a pocket watcher. Like, that's one of the biggest bones you've had with FFG. You hate the fact that even though you have a 92, 93K channel, Your views have fallen off. Your money has fallen off. You hate the fact that here's FFG, who's not even a quarter of your size, that's doing much better financially than you. You hate that. You hate it. I'm sure you pay attention to the number of people in her chat room. You pay attention to her views. And maybe in your head, you can figure out how much money she's making by counting up the super chats. You are a pocket watcher. If you were successful, you wouldn't be pocket watching anybody. But because you lack success, which by the way is entirely your fault, because if you had screwed your head on straight, you would be successful and you wouldn't be bitching about the reaction channels and what they're doing and how much they're making. But you pocket watch FFG, and it bothers you that here you are, Foodie Beauty, the faux YouTube celebrity with a big channel, not as big as other people, but still big compared to some of the reaction channels that cover you, and your money keeps falling off. And here's a reaction channel. It's only been around for, say, a year or 2 years, making 2 or 3 times the amount that you do. It bugs you. It gnaws away at you. Absolutely gnaws away at you. It bothers you that you make the content, but even if it's on your channel, you don't do so well. Somebody reacts to it and they do better than you with your content. But rather than sit down and say, what am I doing wrong? What can I do right? How can I improve things? You don't want to put the work in. Therefore, you don't get the reward. Somebody else puts the work in, they get the reward. Figure it out.
I mean, I don't care. I have my Beezers, and that's all I've ever said I care about. Whatever. Anyway. Like, as if. Anyways, I find that so hypocritical. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know. A diseased camel. Are you kidding? He called me a buffalo. That's why I called him a camel. He literally looks like a camel. Like, hello. How is that?
And that was the guy you were madly in love with. So he goes from being a guy that she's madly in love with and, oh, his body is so hot, to saying he's a camel. How our opinions change.
That ignorant. He was very abusive to me. Are you going to really simp for him? He deserves everything I say about him. I'm not sorry at all. He has the face of a camel. So it's racist just because there's camels? What if I call them a spider? There's spiders in Kuwait too. Is that racist? Get a life. You don't owe, yeah, I don't owe any of them anything. Exactly. Blacks. It's just about money, I know. But they don't care about how it affects other people's lives. But whatever. Yeah, I just come in and hang out with you guys, exactly. Anyway, so yeah.
Maybe that's part of your problem, Chantal. You come on camera and you hang out versus working. You know, you've always said that YouTube is your job. When you go to your job, you work. Right? Whatever work you do, you go to work, you're professional, you look the part, you're ready to work, you're ready to put some time in. But yet when you come on camera anymore, it's all about just hanging out and doing nothing and talk about nothing. And you wonder why the money's going away.
It's not valid criticism, though. It's not criticism. What people do on reaction channels or hate channels is not criticism. When you constantly over criticize somebody, like criticizing every little detail of their life, that becomes bullying at some point.
You know what, Chantal? If you want the reaction channels to say nice things about you, do nice things. Be a nice person. What exactly do you do that we can praise you for? You want us to co-sign on all of your BS, but we're not going to do that. If you're sitting there doing a mukbang and you're eating an amount of food that would feed 6 people, we're not going to praise that, especially knowing your problem with food. You're monetizing your problem versus seeking help for your problem. You're doing self-harm content. What is to be praised about that? You want us to praise you for the wrong things. If you're doing good, we might say good things about you, but you got to do good first. Don't expect the praise without the work.
For sure. If there's something worth criticizing, whatever. But the people doing the criticizing are bigger messes. They're worse. They're 100% worse. You know what I mean? Like, no, but you're not trying to attack me, but you're dabbing in the little drama, like defending Nattered that I called him. Have you seen what he said about me? Have you seen what he done to me the past whole year?
Oh, fuck off. I'm sorry. I'm annoyed, y'all. I'm so sick of this one talking about, oh, he hurt me so bad when she kept going back and forth to that man and seeing him in secret and lying about seeing him because she was so desperate for him. He was so hurtful, and yet she couldn't stay away. It just makes me ill. Absolutely ill.
I think he deserves being called a camel, which he looks like. And I don't care. I think I'm racist for that, whatever. He doesn't deserve anything except jail time. It is witchy, yeah. Targeting the same two people over and over and over, even if you call it react, let's take a look at what they're doing. It's like you're putting someone under a microscope and being a hypocrite. Like, look at yourself. None of you, the weight loss channels you started, none of you have lost barely any weight. Actually, FFG has gained weight.
How many times have we seen you do quote unquote diets and you swore that you're going to take care of yourself within like a few days? You were done with it. What about that intuitive eating, Chantal? Remember that? You were eating intuitively, which was a joke because someone who's got an extreme problem with food like yourself, you can't do intuitive eating until you get a handle on that. Even the person who wrote that book said that. That if you have a problem with food, if you have a BED, you can't even begin to do the intuitive eating until you are fully in recovery from that problem or near the end of like the end of your problem, because that's when you have some self-control. Intuitive eating revolves around having self-control, and if you have none, you cannot eat intuitively. That's just facts. But you were using the intuitive eating as kind of a scapegoat, an excuse to eat whatever you wanted. And you're an addict. You have an addictive personality. You have many addictions. And whatever you like, it starts off as being something you like, and then it turns into an obsession, and then it turns into an addiction. Whether it's food or party favors or men, it always goes that way. It always goes out of whack and out of balance. And rather than seek help for any of those issues, you find ways to continue to do them.
Hey, Shorty, hi. And it's funny, actually, FFG, you did fail miserably with your thumbnail because Charlie and I did look better than you in that thumbnail, 100%. Like, even without any makeup, without anything, I still looked cute. So I don't care. Whatever. I'm not being conceited, but I mean, I have eyes. No. FFG shoes. They twist things. They twist things. That's not my problem. Yeah. So, what else was I going to talk about? But I think that'll try to. I think that'll be it for once and for all. Like we really want to try so hard. As you can see, even watching Yo Mama streams is not good for us because it's still talking about drama, and then I come online and I say these things about it, and I shouldn't even address it.
But you do because you need content. You need something to talk about to make money.
Like, period. But when it comes to like pinpointing our location and things, people can go to a new low and then try to cry victim if like it's done to them. Like, it's just stupid. Like, people go to really big lows when it comes to me, and like honestly, all I do is my videos, or defend myself. This is lemon mint, my favorite.
Maybe that's your problem. You spend far too much time defending yourself and not enough time improving yourself. Maybe you should fix that.
So, anyways, what else? And water. Yeah, they pick apart everything. He wasn't gaming on the old place. He's in the spare room. You draw and make funny. Yeah, I like being like weird and silly, you know? Sometimes. Those videos are just for fun. I don't think I even make any money off of them, barely. Maybe
Yeah, because they suck.
like $100 or something. Not much. You're vaping mango peach. Oh, yummy. That sounds delicious. Um, in the vape we have it's mixed berries and mint. It's like 10, 11 here. You should do more impressions. So,
Yeah, Chantal did this ridiculous skits type story. I didn't even watch it. I thought it was ridiculous. She's talking about the little skit video that she just put up today. She's like, "Oh, I didn't make much on it. I made $100." Well, you shouldn't even made that much. It sucked.
yeah, I don't have filters and no look at my makeup is like half off, mostly off. Um,
But you still got the skin smoothing filter on, girl, and the contour filter. I see you.
hold on, I gotta approve this message. Sugar cream bread. Oh, enough said. Grilled cheese. You're a dangerous lady making all these threats. Yeah, from I'm so glad I'm in Kuwait. I'm in a different country from these people, these parasites. Honestly, for real. So, anyways, I know this gives them life and content for days, but I wanted to say
Not
that.
necessarily. This gives them content for days. Not really. This gives me content for like one video. What do you mean content for days? I used to get content for days out of you. We all did when you were doing 6 to 10 hours worth of live streams a day, but not anymore. But you know what? I'm not mad about that, Chantal. I'm really not because I've got so many other things going on. I'm actually grateful and thankful that you're not going crazy with the live streams because I've got so much that I have to do. So thank you for slowing down on the live streaming. But no, it's not content for days.
The last thing, I guess, is exactly why.
I mean, those of you that are watching my reactions, that have been watching my reactions, if I'm not covering something for Chantal, it's because there's nothing to talk about. Like, I don't want to react to it because there's really nothing to talk about. When she does her mukbangs, why? Why talk about it? It's just her eating another boring fast food meal. So I'll skip it. I mean, I'm a content creator. I can choose to skip something and I will if I'm looking at the content and saying there's nothing here. Let's just move on to something that might be a bit more interesting.
So just call me a dummy, yo mama, for not kissing Charlie's butt after her going after FFG. I don't care if FFG ever disappears. Honestly, whatever. You know, if she's still on the platform, it's for whatever reason. Who cares? Like, you know, I'm not gonna go and completely disregard her also targeting me because when it comes to
Oh,
she was very vile in the things she would say. Like she's disgusting in some of the things she would say about us. Like, are you kidding? She made fun of Amber Lynn in a whole video for not being able to walk to a tree. She made fun of her legs. Like, how is that okay? How is that okay? And he actually has the audacity to say things like, fine, target Foodie Beauty all you want, make fun of her all you want, go for people's looks all you want. No, that's not okay to do that to people. And you know what? Like,
but Foodie, you make fun of people's looks. You'll make fun of people's looks. You'll make fun of them for their gender. You make fun of them for where they live. I mean, so you want those who react to you to adhere to guidelines and rules that you yourself don't follow. You know, like rules for you, but not for me. That's basically what you're saying. I have all the room to say whatever I want about whoever or whatever I like. But when it comes to the reactors, we're supposed to not talk about certain things in a certain way. No, ma'am. The playing field is even and level. If you can come online and talk about people in a disparaging way or a critical way, then that means other people can do it too. You put it on the table. Once it's on the table, it's there. Okay. That's just how it works. That's how it'll always work. And if you want people to say good things about you, if you don't want to hear so much criticism, then don't come online acting the fool and eating ridiculous and being vulgar and feral. Try it. Try living a life that it's somewhat normal and not acting ridiculous and see what happens.
Maybe people will never change, but I don't want to be a platform that encourages that kind of thing. And that's exactly what you're doing. You know, I've said some nasty things. If you want to use Cuba Rage as the epitome, I'll say it again and the final time. That was a time when I had just been through a lot of crap and abuse and
Oh, God. No. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. Natter, since you're bringing up Natter, fine. We're going to talk about Natter for a minute. Natter came forward, came through with some receipts where you were talking to him and you told him in those text messages that you were going to put out this narrative of you were mad at him and you were going to talk about another guy. He showed those text messages where everything was planned. And even after Cuba, you continued to see him, this person who caused you so much trauma. Right? He was so awful, yet you couldn't wait to see him. You couldn't wait to spend time with him. You were still paying his phone bill. You were still paying for the internet. You were still paying for the groceries. Still wanting to send him gift packages, buying party favors from him, buying him clothes, sneaking off to see him, saying, I'm going to go see such and such guy, when really it was Natter. So how hurtful was he, Foodie? How hurtful was this person when you had absolutely no fear at all of going to see him and spending time with him alone in a room with nobody else there? Because when somebody has hurt you like that, you don't want to be alone with them. You don't want to be in the same room as them. You don't want to think about them. You don't want to think about their name. You want to stay as far away from them as possible. Yet every chance you got, you spent with Natter. And here's the funny thing. You say that you hated Natter. You hated Dee Dee, but yet you had not one but two intimate occasions with both of the people you say you hated. So, yeah, make that make sense.
Manipulation from Dudu and Camel, okay? And so for me to say, yeah, it was wrong for me to say, go call her mother's thing. I was extremely drunk. Go call her mother's home, whatever. I didn't care about Dudu at the time. I hated her after what she put me through. I hated her guts, like, you know, and so
I listen, I call me weird. I can't imagine hating someone or hating two people and then turning around and doing the most intimate of things with both those people. I just can't. I mean, how do you manage that? She managed it not once but twice. So was there real hate? Or was it just hate for YouTube? It kind of sounds like it was hate for YouTube.
So, I mean, to keep bringing that up as an example of how I'm a bad person is just, how does that even have any weight anymore, honestly, really? I mean, you have a whole channel targeting the same person, calling them the most nasty things. And then people have now on their reaction channels are pinpointing our location to try to put us in danger, because what else is your point of doing that? Why put the exact location? You're hoping that something happens to us. I mean, come on, it's clear, you know? It's just whatever. It's so hypocritical. Exactly. That to me is almost the same as be hiding behind an avatar. You're sitting there judging fat women from the neck up. You know, like, and it's not a pissing contest. Losing weight is not a pissing contest. It's not one size fits all. I always say this. It's not like that. Like, who cares if someone's struggling with weight? Like, to target overweight people, like, especially people who know what it's like.
Yeah, I'm going to go on record as saying this. Chantal has a problem with food. We all know this. But I think as far as her weight, she doesn't really struggle with her weight because she's not trying to get healthy. She's not interested in getting healthy. But I think with Chantal being the awful offensive person that she is, she likes to try to use different things as shields to avoid consequences for her behavior. And one of the active shields that she has is the fact that she's super, super morbidly obese. Now, if Chantal were, say, let's just say 200 pounds lighter, or maybe even 300 pounds, if she were down to, say, 300 pounds versus 500, or she lost all the weight, she would not be able to use the fact that she was super morbidly obese as a shield anymore, would she? But because she's super morbidly obese, if anybody says anything to her, she can say, oh, it's fat phobia. But if you're not obese or fat, you can't use that as a defense. So she's always looking for shields to act as barriers so that the consequences of her actions don't come forward. And she has to pay for what she's done or what she said.
To struggle and to feel ashamed of yourself and everything. You think that putting the fire under their butt is bullying them? You think that's going to have a positive? You think that you're going to get a positive effect out of being negative? Like, how does that make any sense? I swear people don't have brains. I swear.
You know what, guys? We got like 6 minutes left. I'm done with Chantal. What did the comments say? Okay, Clara's eyebrow says, Chantal, Kuwaiti laws don't apply to people not in Kuwait. It's not that difficult to grasp. Right. She tries to say that she's got rights, but she's not a citizen. She's on a tourist visa, which is going to be up in about 3 weeks. So you really don't have any rights over there, Chantal. You're just a visitor. That's so random, says, this smoking is getting so irritating. I can't watch anymore. Yeah, the shartsa, the shisha, I call it the shartsa now because it sounds like a wet fart. It's irritating. People don't like the sound of it, and yet she won't stop doing it. Now, I know that Chantal likes to do things to trigger people, to get people talking, but she's not understanding that smoking that shisha or the shartsa like she does, it's driving people away. They just can't take it because she just does it so much. You know, maybe if you need to smoke, Chantal, do it off camera. Smoke as much as you want when the camera's not rolling. You know, get your kicks that way. And then when you come on camera, you won't have to do it in front of your viewers. Let's see. All right, so that's it for the comments. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this react video. If you have, please like and subscribe, leave a comment yourselves. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a very great day. Thank you for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.